bit late, aren't they?
It's a do.
It's what?
A do, you know, they're company.
Oh, it's a sort of party and they're having high tea.
Rose pork, stem pies, salmon and salad, trifle, 2 kinds of jelly, lemon cheese tarts, jam tarts, Swiss tarts, sponge cake, walnut cake, chocolate roll, and a pound cake kept from last Christmas.
Is that all?
No, there's white bread, brown bread, cream tea cake, one of them big curd tarts from Gregory's, and a lot of cheese.
It is a do, isn't it?
And the little brown jug.
Little brown jug.
You know what that is, don't you? Don't you? Well, I never did. Little brown jug's a drop of rum for your tea. They're getting right lively on it. But you don't come from round here, do you?
No.
I come from near Rotherham. My father works in Pitt, so does our Frank and our Wilfred.
There's a bell ringing somewhere.
I know, it's for me. Let her wait. She's run me off my legs today. And Mrs. Northrop's in the kitchen. She can do a bit for a change. There's 7 of them at it in dining room. Alderman Ellywell and the Misses of course. Then Councillor Albert Parker and Mrs. Parker, Mr. Albert Soppet and Mrs. Soppet, and of course Miss Holmes.
Oh, Miss Holmes is there, is she?
Yes, but she stopped eating. You're caught in her, aren't you?
What?
Oh, I saw you both the other night near Keckley Woods. I was out myself with our milkman's lad.
Now look here, what's your name?
Ruby Bertle.
Well, Ruby, you wouldn't like Miss Holmes to get into trouble, would you?
No, I wouldn't like that, but I'd like that shilling.
You said Miss Holmes had finished eating?
Yes, she can put it away like some of them. I'd rather keep Councillor Albert Parker a week than a fortnight. Do you want to see her?
Yes. Could you just give her the tip quietly that I'm here, if the rest of them aren't coming in here yet?
Not them. Think they've been panned for a month where they're going at it. I'll tell her. She'd better come round that way, through greenhouse.
Oh, here you are.
That's right, Miss Northrop.
I say not right about it. You gassing it in as if you're on the Pleasance doesn't get no me work. She's rung for you twice already, and I've just taken another lot of hot water in. Now come in, you little crackpot. Aren't you organist from chapel?
Yes.
I will have got it in for you.
How do you know?
Because I heard him say so. I don't miss much.
So that's why Mr. Helliwell wants me to come round and see him.
That's right, there's 3 of them here tonight, you see. All big men at chapel. Been enjoying yourself a bit too much, I fancy, lad.
So that's it, is it?
Aye, you know what I say. I say to hell with them.
Gerald?
Nancy!
No, you mustn't. Not here, Gerald. You know why Uncle Joe sent for you?
They've got it in for me. I've just been told.
Well, it's serious, Gerald. They've been grumbling about you for some time. And now, as far as I can gather, one of those miserable old beasts saw you late one night with me.
Oh, I say you weren't recognised, were you?
No, but you were.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. So long as they can't drag you into it. You can't afford to argue with your uncle and aunt until we're ready to be married.
Well, neither can you, Gerald. They're going to be very cross with you. You're going to have to be awfully careful what you say to them. There's that beastly Councillor Parker here, and you loathe him, don't you?
Absolutely. And I loathe him even more now that he's full of roast pork and trifle. I think I'd better give them time to recover from that huge ghastly tuck-in they're having.
I should. They're nearly finished now.
If I slip out for half an hour or so, could you come out too?
Well, I might. They don't really want me here. I'm in the way, you see. It's an anniversary celebration. I don't come into it at all.
What are they celebrating?
It's Yorkshire Argus. 2 of them. This is Miss Holmes, Alderman Ellywell's niece. Told us this is still having her tea.
Evening, Miss Holmes. How do you do? Mr. Henry Ormonroyd, our photographer. Pleased to meet you, I'm sure. Delightful weather we're having for the time of year.
Yes, isn't it?
It is. We seem to have come too early.
Yes, I'm afraid you have.
There you go, Fred. Always wanting to rush things. We could have had at least a couple more, my friend down at Lion. Now, there's a chap. He used to have a very nice little peppermint rock business on Central Pier at Blackpool. About the time I had my studio there. Good old times, Mr. And happy days. Happy days.
All right, Henry. I'm sorry we're early. Matter of fact, I don't know what this is about yet. I just got a message from our office saying to come down here and bring a photographer.
Will you see it says silver wedding?
Hey, Henry, hear that? saw them in Ellywell's silver wedding.
Very nice, I suppose.
Yes, but not only my uncle and aunt. There were three couples. My uncle and aunt, Mr. and Mrs. Suffolk, and Mr. and Mrs. Parker.
Is that Councillor Albert Parker?
Yes, you know him.
Aye, we know him.
Every time he opens his mouth down at Town Hall, he puts his foot in it. So they call him the foot and mouth disease. Are all three happy couples here?
Yes, because they were all married on the same morning at the same chapel. You have a photograph, a combined wedding group.
Yes, you'll have to interview them, and they'll tell you how happy they've been.
Oh, I get the idea now.
Here it is. Don't they look absurd in those clothes?
To you, yes. To me, no. I was married myself about that time. Now you see, Fred, what's wanted is another picture group in same positions. After 25 years wear and tear. Very nice.
You're holding it upside down.
I know, lad, I know. We always look at them professionally. Either the flies have been at this or someone's touched up Albert Parker with a screwdriver. Oh well, we're too early, Fred, lad, we're too early. Might nip back down to Lion, eh?
Hey, that's a good idea.
They're keeping a very nice drop of beer down there, I hear. See you later.
I will come back in about an hour.
This must have been when they were married then. September the 5th, 83.
What? What's the matter? Oh, don't say I'll be here in a minute.
Look, I think they're coming in. Let's dodge out that way.
Hey, now what's wanted now is a good cigar. I've got the very thing.
That Mrs. Northrop. When she's finished her washing up tonight, she goes, and she goes for good.
No, I'm quite right. Well, they're all the same, answering back if you say anything.
Trouble with her is she likes. I've smelt it on her before today.
Now then, Albert, you'll find that's a good cigar. La Corona.
Thanks, Joe. As you know, I don't smoke a lot, but when I do, I like a good cigar.
Herbert.
I don't think I will, thanks, Joe.
Nay, Herbert, have one of Joe's cigars.
Oh, if he'd acted to pay for himself, he'd have been wanting one.
I think I'd rather not smoke just now. I believe I ate too much tea.
I know I did.
Yes, and you'll be complaining about it for the night, thanks.
And so will Herbert.
Well, that's something that never bothers me.
No, we've noticed that, Albert.
What do you mean?
Go on, Albert, you know Joe. Let's have his little joke.
I know I should have stopped long before I did. I mean, at tea. But Maria, everything was so nice.
Oh, here. Well, I said to Joe. Now, Joe, I said, they'll only be just as ridiculous. But we'll make it an occasion and do it well while we're at it, I said. Didn't you, Joe?
Did you?
You know quite well I did, Joe.
All right, you did then.
You know very well I did, Joe Halliwell.
All right, you did then.
Oh, they're all alike, aren't they? Wait till somebody else is with you and try to make you out a liar.
Speak for yourself. Don't try to make my wife out a lie, do I, Annie?
Well, no, Albert, not really.
What do you mean, not really? Just don't, that's all. Good smoke, Joe, it's quite a good smoke. Reminds me of that cigar Sarah Watson gave me not so long since at club. I was standing there by the fireplace and Sarah came up...
Albert, you told them that before.
But I can tell him again, can't I?
Maria, have you got a copy of that old photograph we had taken? I couldn't find ours.
Yeah. Where is it, Joe? I laugh many a time when I think of that one. 6 of us. All so nervous.
The parson were worse still. He were no bigger than 2 pen of the coppers, and I could have given him a few years myself.
You know, I think we were about first he'd ever married.
I'm sure we were. You know, I didn't feel I'd been married properly.
Oh,
Of course you've been married properly. If he'd been 19 doing it all his life, you wouldn't be married any better, would you?
I've forgotten his name now. He were only a temporary, wasn't he?
I remember, it were a tree. Beach.
That's right, beach. And he's got a funny squeak too. Here's that old photo.
Let's see.
Well, I see crossbreds are down again.
Aye, and if Australian market keeps as it is, they'll be staying down. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. If your merinos is down and staying down, then your crossbreds left to follow. Now take merinos,
Oh,
please.
Joe, we didn't come here to talk about merinos. It isn't wool exchange. Come and have a look at yourself. See what we took on.
Now wait a minute. Health.
That's right, Joe, read. We ought to do this in proper style and drink our health before we go any further.
Further where?
That'll do, Herbert. Bit of fun's all right. You go too far.
Oh, I didn't mean...
That'll do, Herbert. Well,
There's a tray with glasses on. Just fetch it in.
What, me? How much cares if I'm just...
That'll do. Just tell Thingamytie, Ruby, to bring in a port wine.
What's on top of your tea? You'll be poorly.
Did you hear that?
Oh, we don't want any trouble, Joe. She goes tonight and she doesn't come back.
oh, I don't know what people are coming to. They're all the same, answering back.
They're all alike, that class of people.
Aye.
We have the same trouble at the mill. They don't know when they're well off. Idle, that's what they are. Born idle.
And impudent. Back-answers.
Yes, but I suppose they don't know any better, really.
They know a lot better. And what you want to stick up for them for, I can't think.
Now then, Albert, don't start fratting, but sit back and enjoy yourselves. This is our anniversary. Which reminds me, I saw old Charlie Pearson today. He told me they'd open a new Wesleyan Methodist chapel up at Thornton. They opened it with an anniversary. Anyhow, this is ours. So there's a peace and goodwill all round. I thought first we'd have a drink and a toast to ourselves.
That was my idea.
Then I thought we'd settle back and have a nice chat about old times and a nice game of cards.
That was my idea too.
But that hangman, does it matter whose idea it was, so long as we get on with it and enjoy ourselves?
Yeah, that's a great thing. Enjoy ourselves.
I told you to leave that salmon alone.
Nay, Clara, why can't he have a bit of salmon if he fancies it?
Because it doesn't fancy him, Joelly, well, that's why. Look at that time, we all went to Scarborough.
It was Bridlington.
It was both. And what did that doctor say? You're digging your grave with your teeth, Mr. Suffolk.
Here, what do you want to bring them all for? One bottle at a time's enough.
Mrs. Northrop said you best have lot, won't you, that's it?
In future, you take your orders from me and not from Mrs. Northrop. Now run along. And no lip.
Mrs. Northrop says she's not coming here again.
We know all about it.
Let him eat, Joe. Do you know what we ought to do for this? We ought to get in the same place as we are in that old photo. Where is it? I was in the middle. You were that side, Annie. You were here, Clara. Albert behind Annie. Herbert.
Clara?
Oh.
Mariah.
Thank you.
Albert? Sure. Right. Now here's for me and my wife's husband.
That's enough of that, nonsense, Joe.
What's wanted? Just a few serious words.
Oh, must you, Albert?
What's wrong? What do you mean, what's wrong with a few serious words on an occasion like this? Marriage, after all, is a serious business.
That's right, Albert. Where'd we all be without it?
Single.
That'll do,
Marriage, well, to begin with, it's an institution, isn't it?
It is that.
It's one of the oldest institutions, and it goes right back to, well, it goes right back, and it's still going strong today. Why?
Well, because
Let me finish, Joe, let me finish. Still going strong today, the institution of marriage, and why? Because it's the backbone of a decent, respectable life.
True, Albert, true.
Where would women be without marriage?
Oh, where'd some of you men be?
All right, I'm coming to that. Well, marriage may be a bit more necessary to women than it is to men.
Why?
Why?
Children, you see, Annie.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten. Still,
I'm speaking now, if you please. Well, if women want a security and a decent home and respectable life, which they get from marriage, a man wants something
Aye, a man wants all he can get.
A man wants someone to tell his troubles to, a nice, comfortable home, and so forth.
That's good, that is, Albert. The and so forth.
Well,
Cut it short.
we're all gathered here together to celebrate the anniversary of our joint wedding day. Friends, let me give you a toast. The toast of marriage.
Well done, Albert.
it'll go straight to my head, you know. Oh, do you remember that time at Harrogate? I could have sunk through the floor when that waiter laughed.
That's all right as far as it goes. Nay, damn it.
Joe,
Oh, thank you, Joe.
It's not often that three couples get together like this. They're all wed together on the same morning.
Thank you, Joe.
I don't that silly. My face goes so red.
Right. Now then, let's drink a toast to ourselves and to the Reverend Mr. what's his name? Beach, who tied us up, wherever he may be. Mr. Beach.
Right there. Who can that be?
Well, I told Yorkshire Argus to send someone round to have word with us.
Oh, what are you going to have a piece in the papers?
They don't want to catch us like this.
Oh, no.
Is it Yorkshire Argus?
No, it's Mr. Fogg, talking from Chapel. He came before and went away again.
Tell him to wait. You know about this business, Albert? You too, Herbert?
Yes, but I...
But nothing, you're too soft.
Oh, I'm always telling him so.
He's paid organist, and either he does his job properly or he goes.
He goes anyhow if I have my say.
Nay, Albert, he's not a bad young fella.
Now you shut up, Annie. You don't know half of what we know about this chap, and I bet we don't know half of what there is to know about him. He should never have been appointed. I said so at the time, and I say so now. I know me old man.
I wish sometimes you'd keep a bit of it to yourself.
What do you mean?
And love, where have you been?
Just out a minute. You don't want me to, you, Auntie? Because I've got to put on my hat and coat and go and see if Muriel Spencer is.
That's all right, love. It's that young Gerald Fox is outside. Your uncle wants a word with you. Now don't you go talking to him.
I should think so too. Just say hello or good evening and leave it at that. The least said to that young man, the better. Now what's so funny about that?
Nothing, Uncle. I just thought of something that amused me.
Now what's the matter with her?
Oh, she's at silly age. You don't know half the time whether to laugh or cry at that age. Now, Clara, Annie, we'll go upstairs and leave the men to it. I expect that's what they want.
Certainly, it's chapel business.
I want you to go upstairs anyhow.
That's right.
You haven't seen what Joe bought me yet.
No.
Don't take too long over him.
It won't take me long.
No, it'll take me less long, because I don't make speeches. Here, we better get these out of the way.
Said from first he should never have been appointed. To start with, he's too young.
I don't think that matters much.
You never think anything matters much, Herbert, and that's just where you're wrong.
Yeah, no, and young folks, he's a southerner and all.
Aye, I'm coming to that.
Oughtn't we have him in?
No, let him wait.
Aye, do him good. No, as soon as they told me he's a southerner and his name's Gerald, I said to them, you don't want him, I said. You don't want him, la-di-da, that's what you're going to get from him, I said, la-di-da. What you want at laying in, biggest chapel for miles around, with any amount of money in congregation, is a bit of good old Yorkshire choir training and organ playing. You don't want la-di-da. Oh, how delightful to meet you. What lovely weather. How charmed to make for acquaintance. What do you think I call that stuff, eh?
La-di-da. Albert's right, you know. We made a mistake. Mind you, he had good qualifications, and he seemed a nice, quiet young lad. But I must say, ever since old Sam Fawcett, the chapel hasn't been the same. The choir master that goes round wearing pink shirts, knitted ties and creases in his trousers.
It's all la-di-da. And then look at his Messiah. I said to him, I know it's a Christmas piece, lad, but you got to get in there before the others.
That's right, Albert. Time November comes round, there's been so many of them, you might as well take your Messiah and throw it in the canal.
And then look what happened. Hillroad Methodist gave Messiah, Salem gave Messiah, Tongue Congregational gave Messiah, Picklebrook Wesleyans gave Messiah. Where was Lane End?
Well, when we did get it, it was a good one.
We're not saying it wasn't, but by that time, who cared? Anyhow, that's all detail. The point is, we can't have carrying on, can we?
Aye, there I agree, Joe.
Right enough. Organist at Lane End carrying on. That may do down south, but it won't do up here.
Right, we're all agreed. Right, we'll have him in. Right, you can come in.
I wouldn't do that, lad.
Do what?
What have you got in your hand?
This? A cigarette? Why?
Don't you think it would be better and more fitting and more suitable in the circumstances if you didn't smell that just now?
Oh, all right, if that's how you feel about it. Well, you wanted to see me about something, didn't you?
We did. We do.
And Father my way, we've been talking to you long since.
Well, not very long since, because I haven't been up here very long.
You haven't been here very long, and you won't be here much longer either.
Now then, Albert, just leave it to me. Let me get a word in. Now, Mr. Forbes, you're organist at our Lane End Chapel, and that's the biggest place of worship round here. We're respectable folk with lots of money behind us. You have a paid appointment as our organist and choir master.
Yes, though it doesn't pay me very well, you know.
No, but as you are our organist, you're able to get pupils and various other jobs, so you don't do so badly, eh?
No, I'm quite satisfied, for the time being.
Satisfied? For the time being, you're satisfied?
That's what I said, Mr. Parker.
Councillor Parker. Alderman Halliwell. Councillor Parker. Mr. Soppet.
Plain night.
Now listen.
Just keep calm, Albert. Just sit down and keep calm.
I'm quite calm.
You're a damn sight too calm for my liking. You ought to be right ashamed of yourself instead of sitting there looking as you do look.
But you haven't told me what's wrong yet.
What's wrong? You're wrong, and carrying on's wrong.
In some chapels, they mightn't care what you do. I don't know. The Lane End's got a position to keep up. We're respectable folk, and we expect our organist to behave respectably.
You really have been very careless, Mr. Forbes. And there really has been a lot of grumbling.
For one thing, you've been seen late out at night with girls.
Girls?
Aye, it might be the same lass all the time, for all we know. Whoever she is, if what I hear is true, she ought to be right ashamed of herself. If she'd out to do with me, I'd teach her a sharp lesson.
You were seen late out one night at Morecambe, gallivanting. And it gets around, you know. Oh, yes, it gets around.
Yes, so it seems. But I didn't think you'd find any interest in listening to a lot of silly gossip.
Now, don't take that tone.
Well, what tone can I take? I mean what I say. Silly gossip.
Steady, steady.
Silly gossip. Old women's twaddle.
Now, just a minute, lad. You're not much more than a lad yet. We're nearly twice your age, and we know what's what.
Well, what is what, then?
This is what's what. Either behave yourself, or get back to where you came from. We're not going to be made laughing stock and byword of neighbourhood, so this is fair warning.
I haven't done anything I'm ashamed of.
But what's that proof? Chap who's got a cheek of brass monkey needn't do what he's ashamed of.
Careful, Albert.
Why should I be careful? I say to his face what I said behind his back. He should never have been appointed in first place. And now he's carrying on without getting tuppence for opinions of respectable folk. He should be given no warning. but told to get back to where he came from, and then he can carry on as much as he likes.
No, just a minute, Albert. I think we ought to give the young lad just another chance. I mean, this is a festive occasion, and nay, damn it, I think we ought to take things easy a bit. So we're just giving you one more chance to mend your ways, and you can think yourself lucky catching Miss Hilma. Then it happens, we're all celebrating our anniversary. Aye, we've all been married, all three couples, 25 years today. What are you shaking your head for?
Well, you see, Mr. Helliwell, I beg your pardon, Alderman Helliwell, I'm afraid you haven't been married 25 years.
What? Do you think we can't count, lad?
No, I don't mean that. I mean, you've only been living together all this time.
Living together? Why, I'll knock your head right off your shoulders if you talk to me like that.
No, I don't mean to insult you. I mean what I say.
I mean what you say? You're wrong in your damned head.
Oh, wait a minute, Albert, Joe, we must listen. He means it.
Means it? Means what?
If you'll just be quiet a minute, I'll explain.
I don't want
I said quiet.
Just take it easy, Albert, just take it easy.
Thank you. Mind if I sit down now? Thank you. I went to North Wales for my holiday this summer.
What's this got to do with it? I don't care where you spend your holidays.
I went to North Wales for my holiday this summer and only came back about a fortnight ago. While I was there, I made the acquaintance of a parson who'd just come back from Africa after about 20 years. When he learned that I was organist from Lane End in Cleckley, he became very excited. And then it turned out that he'd been at Lane End himself about 25 years ago.
What was his name?
Beach. Francis Edwin Beach.
Oh, yes, Mr. Beach. We remember Mr. Beach. We was only talking about him this evening. You know, Mr. Beach married us. All three couples, you know. That's what we're celebrating this evening. Being married, 25 years today.
Well, go on.
Well, I could see there's something about that he remembered that Lane End in Cleckley. You could say worried him. It was gnawing on his conscience. It was preying on his mind. It was haunting.
What's this, a recitation?
I must apologise if I'm boring you, gentlemen.
La-dee-da. For God's sake, lad, if you got something to tell us and don't la-dee-da.
Quite right, Albert. Now, what did Mr. Beach say?
Mr. Beach didn't say anything.
And what are you nattering on about him for?
Wait a minute, Joe, that's not all, is it?
All? I should think not. Only you won't give me a chance to explain. I said he didn't say anything, but he wrote something. I've got the letter here. It only came about 2 days ago. From the Reverend Francis Edwin Beach. Dear Mr. Forbes, before returning to Africa, I feel I owe it both to you and to myself to explain what you must have found puzzling in my many references to Cleckley White and Lane End Chapel. Although I was only temporarily at Lane End, I could not forget it, for there I was guilty of the most culpable negligence. I went to Cleckley White straight from college, and during those first few months I did not realise that there were various forms I ought to have signed and had witnessed by church officers, so that one may be recorded as an authorised person to perform the ceremony of marriage.
What? Perform the ceremony of marriage. The result was that I was not then an authorised person. Fortunately, during that short period of time, I was only called upon twice to marry people. The first time, there were no less than 3 hopeful young couples who imagined, poor souls, that I was joining them in holy wedlock, when I was completely unauthorised to do so.
Yeah. It's signed too, Francis Edwin Beach.
And if you compare that signature with the one in the chapel register, you'll see it's the same. No deception.
Why, the bloody donkey!
Why, if we've never been married at all, then...
Don't start working it out, Herbert, because it gets ugly, very ugly. Take that son of yours at grammar school, for instance. I wouldn't like that to give him a name now.
Yeah, careful.
As I said, it gets very ugly, so just keep your mind off details.
Silver,
Why don't you start, Albert?
Joe, Herbert, when them 3-4 women upstairs realise who they really are,
Then the balloon goes up properly. Talk about rumpus, you'll hear it from here to Leeds.
Joe, Herbert, they mustn't know. Nobody must know. Why, if this gets out, we'd be laughed out of town tomorrow. Think of it. Alderman Elliot, Councillor Barker, Mr. Suffolk, all big men at chapel too. Why, if this gets out, we're done.
We are, Albert.
If once it got into the papers...
Oh, Christmas, it mustn't get in the papers.
My letter, please.
This
Oh, no,
doesn't-
here. Oh, no. I'm holding on to this letter myself. Why, it's dynamite.
Yes, but it's addressed to me. That happens to be my property, you know.
He's right, you know.
You would have to say that, wouldn't you? Dang me, you're in this mess the same as we are.
At least we've got a position to keep up, Herbert, even if you haven't.
I was only saying he was right when it was his property. We had this case at work.
Never mind about your case. What about this case? This is a whole truckload of cases.
My letter, please.
No. What's... No. Now, you just listen, lad. We was just trying to be a little bit hasty when you first come. But we didn't really mean it, did we? I mean, it was just a manner of speaking, like. I mean, you know, when another Suffolk day gets started...
Me? You must admit you were a bit hasty, Herbert. Save your face while I sit round your back. You gave us the finest Elijah and finest Messiah ever heard at laying end.
Oh, easy. Best thing take me why. Why, I said when they asked me, that young fellow of ours is clever, I said. I knew he had it in him, I said.
Oh, yes, you did, Joe. And so did I. I've always been on your side.
I believe you have, Mr. Suffolk. Very well. You can keep that letter tonight on one condition. That Mr. Suffolk has it.
Thank you, Joe.
Here, what's the meaning of this?
That happens to be the way I feel about it. Now either hand that letter back to me or give it to Mr. Suffolk, who'll be answerable to me for it.
Certainly.
Oh, knocking.
Oh, I heard.
That would be why you want to get on with celebrations.
I expect Claire has been ready to come down for some time.
Chat about old times.
Nice game of cards.
Yes, and I must be going.
No, just take it easy.
No worry, lad, no worry. I'm sure Joe can give you a nice big cigar.
Yes, have a cigar. Have a drink of anything you want, lad.
No thanks, and I must be going.
No, just a minute, don't be hasty. You know what sort of mess we're in through no fault of our own?
Yes, I do. And it is a mess, isn't it? Especially when you begin to think what your wives and children and everyone here in...
Don't bother thinking now. Just try and forget you ever read that letter.
That's right, we're all the best of friends. Have a cigar, lad. Have some more cigars. That's right. And now, you'll give us our solemn word not to tell another soul about this nasty business.
All right, it's a deal.
Good lad, you won't regret it.
Hear that?
The wife again.
Funny thing about wives, they're always telling you what poor company you are for them, but they're always wanting to get back to you.
That's not because they want your company, it's so they can see what you're up to.
Well, what are we up to? What are we doing?
Wasting time. Now we better get out of the way quick, because if the wives find us like this, they'll have it out of us in 10 minutes.
Better put our thinking caps on.
I don't suppose Mr. Beach could have been mistaken, could he?
We might take that letter and get advice.
What, have it all over town?
No. We might mention a case without putting any names, of course.
I know what we'll do. We'll nip down to the club where we can discuss it in peace and quiet. Now, young man, you won't go back on your word.
No, you're safe with me.
Right, now off we go, just as we are, straight to the club. You can go out the front door when we've gone. Right, come on, you two, straight to the club.
Have you been listening?
Listening, I should think I have been listening. I want to miss the sight of me down here for a week. No wonder I'm probably married at all. Not wonder I'm probably tired.
Look, Anthony, you might break that dish.
Break a dish if I want to. I'll break a dozen now.
Not you, I dare you.